Tell him if he got him a T-shirt and tucked it in, that Joker would make you get down and give him 10. By the way, we're live. What?
Hey, what's the movie? The drill sergeant to the kid.
Sorry. What is the drill sergeant's name? What was that movie? The comedian.
He had a TV show that was My Wife and Kids.
Oh, I'm thinking the guy from
Married with Children.
not Married with Children, but what was the In Living Color? Right?
Oh, David or Wayans. Wayans brother.
It was one of those guys that was in that. He was also in that movie with Jim Carrey when he was the pet detective and he fought him. Right? What was that movie? No, that's not it. But what is that movie? He was like Sergeant Privates or something like that. Something. Or is it
Sergeant Payne?
Sergeant Payne. Major Payne. Major Payne.
Joey's like Major Payne's brother.
He is.
Check that out.
I mean, seriously, you drove all the way over to Quick Clips to get that thing.
Quick and great.
There's nothing great about that. Does anybody think Joey's haircut actually looks good?
Yes. No, we did not do the beard. I wanted to give it more personal attention. Yeah.
All right. Well,
by the way, how's our audio?
Is this an effort? I'm just wondering, like, is he trying to become financially free by reducing his haircut expense?
Reduce the drag, man. Reduce it.
I was in that boat.
You just got it?
I just went.
So here's the question. Joe, you're getting ready to go on a 25-day RV tour.
Yes.
Will you get a haircut between now and then?
That was the goal. I wanted to not have to get a haircut.
So you went as thin as possible.
I said, let's go high and tight.
You needed to go ahead and get some tan on yourself.
That head gonna burn up out in Nevada.
Do you have any idea how hot it's gonna be out there?
I've been to Nevada several times.
I could have gone bald and been comfortable.
No, you're gonna need a big old hat for that head.
You know what? I haven't talked to my wife about this, but I may have to lose the beard.
Why?
Hitting the Grand Canyon, hitting Yosemite, I mean Death Valley.
You think that beard's gonna be hot?
Yeah.
That is not hot.
You're not even wearing it. You don't know.
I mean, I can see your skin underneath it. I mean,
you can't see the sweat. It happens.
That's under your armpits. This has nothing to do with passive income, and that's why we're live.
All right. Pull this thing up.
We're gonna have to tell everyone to no, don't do that, because then you're gonna mess me up when I try to go live. Pull it back down here. Yeah. Because I'm gonna share that screen. You're gonna mess me up. Okay.
Why don't you flip those? What are you doing?
Because I don't want to look down here when we're talking. You don't have to look at yourself. Do you want to look at yourself?
I mean,
he likes to look at himself.
I just got a good haircut. I'm just saying.
I would
I'm a little vain.
I would not want to look at it. It's just between you and me. Now, I do need a haircut. I will tell them, do you see this picture? Don't do that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen today. So we're about to record the passive income report for July, and want to share some insight with you. Hopefully this will be helpful. We do this every month, and
what's the purpose?
This will become a podcast.
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose of our?
Why are we doing this?
Why are we sharing, or why are we doing it?
Yes,
that's a bad question.
Both of them.
I think we share our report for multiple reasons. One, we share it for accountability, right? Because I think it's easy to talk about things, but not actually do them. And so then those who are listening don't know if they're listening to quote unquote gurus, which is, there's a lot of people who talk the talk, but don't walk the walk, right?
Agreed.
And so for us, it's accountability, it's transparency. It shows what we're doing, so that way, hopefully, it gives information, insight, inspiration to those who are watching or listening.
Perfect.
right?
Yeah.
But why are we really doing it, in my opinion, is because if we put a goal on the board, we will actually work to accomplish and grow it. Because without a goal, you can't actually, I believe, attain the things that you have in mind.
Totally agree. I think this has helped us be so much more focused, and this is more kind of like taking our own medicine. Like we talk about you having a goal, you having a specific vision of what financial freedom looks like for you, and that's what the passport is all about, right? We created a course to help you envision those things. What we found is that most people, when you ask them the question, in fact, we're doing this right now. If you know somebody who would be an excellent executive assistant, we want them to, you can go on our website and have them apply to interview with us. Here's one of the interview questions, spoiler alert.
Yeah. What is it?
If money wasn't an obstacle, what would you be doing? And how many people, when we ask that question, have a good answer?
They have no response for that because
They've never even thought about it.
you've never even considered what is possible. Could I even be in a position to where I'm not financially dependent on a paycheck? I mean, that is a really hard thing for most people to fathom. And even though, like, somebody might say, well, but someone who is going to make, $50,000 a year, I mean, is that possible? Think about the game Cash Flow. When you play it for the first time and you get the doctor card,
You think oh man, this is going to be easy.
and the person who gets the janitor card thinks, I'm toast.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Right? Because our mindset goes to, I have to make a lot of money in order to become financially free, because that is what society has told us. It has told us to go to school, get a good job, work hard, move up in the company that you're in, make more money, and that is what leads to freedom. Some of that could be right, but it is not 100% accurate.
No.
Right? How much money you make does not dictate how you become financially free. The formula to the financial freedom is more passive income than monthly expense.
That's right.
Right? And so for those who have higher incomes, have typically higher expenses. So to become financially free, you have to create more passive incomes that exceed that higher monthly expense. For someone who lives simply and has low monthly expenses, they just need to find income streams that create more passive income than that monthly expense.
You're right on, Russ.
We're giving away too much stuff. We're not recording any of this. We need to start recording.
Okay.
Let's
do it.
All right. I hope this is going to be helpful to you. Hope you enjoy Joey and I. This is actually, I said this the other day. I lied because I didn't realize that we were actually going to postpone our move. But today this is the last day that we're in this office. So I'm going to talk about that as we open. So
okay,
we'll do our.
Are you doing this as an intro?
Let's make this the intro that we're about to do, and then we'll do the second part.
All right. So team, we're talking to our marketing team. This is the intro.
All right.
Take one.
Joey, this is the last day that you and I will record from the office. I'm going to say in the office, not like the office that we used to watch, enjoy, but this is the office that we did enjoy. And today I went to work out and I saw these two older guys and I love talking to them. I took a picture with them the other day. I put them in our community. And when I was a banker, when I was a CEO of a publicly traded company, and I went to them today, I said, hey, I need your tips. I said, what is it? I said, I need to know today's the last day I'm going into the office. And they're like, you're retiring? I was like, well, I'm retiring from the office. I'm going home. I'm no longer going to have a physical office I go to. So you guys both experienced that. Why don't you tell me how that went? And one of them said, well, they gave me a car when I retired. And I was like, dang, that's pretty good. You got,
man,
I'm looking for my car. And the other one said, they told me to get out of the way so the next guy could come in.
Nice. That sounds more accurate.
But who's going to come in here? I don't know. Do you think anybody's going to be able to fill our shoes, sit in these seats, and be able to accomplish what you and I have over 5 years?
No, they'll do far better, I think.
They probably will do far better. But this is so fun that you and I have had a chance over 5 years to not only grow as a business to where we went from one business to, I don't know, 10 businesses, to now sharing with people all over the world our own personal story, how we've been able to grow our businesses, how we've been able to create passive income streams. And this is just one step in that financial freedom journey for you and I. We want time. We want more time with our family. And for us, this office was an obstacle.
It was. And I think you're making a good point here, because financial freedom for you doesn't have to look like it does for us. For us, we got really clear 3 or 4 years ago and said, man, what is the most important thing? What is our business going to do for us?
Yep.
And we said, it has to produce more time for us to be with our family.
Well, and in that, we have to measure it, like literally be able to measure each week. Are we spending more time with our family? That was our goal. That was what we put on the board. This is what our objective is. How do we measure it? Well, for us, being able to say, okay, well, let's do away with our physical office space. So now we will be in our home environment, which will then get us closer to spending more time, even if it's just the commute time.
Easily. I mean, that's at least 30 minutes to an hour a day of us coming in and out of the office.
For sure. And,
minimum.
And then think about the times for lunch. Who are we going to have lunch with?
Our families.
Who are we going to take breaks with?
Our families.
Who's going to watch me take a nap?
I don't think anybody's going to.
My family's going to watch me take a nap because I like taking naps, right? But I'm still in the house. I don't take naps here. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. That's an objective for me, to increase my sleep.
But the point I'm making is, we got really clear about our vision. We actually hired a coach, right? Justin, our COO, came into the business and said, okay, now tell me what you want your business to do for you. We got really clear on that. And he said, oh, well, that means now we need to transfer all this profit you're making into people and systems. That's going to buy more of your time back. And then we said, well, also what happens is we get rid of our physical office space. That translates into more time. And so for you, we've actually created a place, a course that you can learn what your financial freedom needs to look like. That's the Passport Challenge. We've just launched this. We want to make sure you get access to it. So go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/passport. It is super simple, but super impactful to have that clarity, to know exactly where you're heading, what financial freedom will look like when you get there, so that you can start making decisions in light of it. And hopefully this is just inspiration of what we're doing with this physical office space, to say, man, they got really clear. I can get really clear. Let's take the next step.
All right. Well, let's jump into today's podcast where we discuss July 2021's passive income report. All right. Pretty good job, man. No reason for take 2. You said take 1.
Well,
What Chris said.
I had to.
That was good. All right.
Had to build something in.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen so that way we come right out of the break sharing this. You guys ready for our passive income report today?
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a
talk to us in the
heck
chat.
yeah.
How do I get to the chat? I want to see the chat. Make sure everybody are hearing us, just so that I feel you. Okay, perfect. Awesome. I'm starting to see some of that.
Kelly likes to look at herself too. I love it.
All right, let's share a screen. We got new computers in here. This is different than normal. Okay. All right, perfect, Joseph. All right. All right, Joey, we're talking 2021 July. The report.
You just said that like in military time.
Well, I said it in military
You went
time
backwards.
No, I did it purposefully.
Okay.
You're sitting over here with the stinking high and tight, looking like Major Payne. I had to do it backwards.
I knew when I went to Great Clips and I was rolling back in here,
There is no such thing as great clips. It is quick clips.
I
That's
was
all
going
it
to
is.
get crushed. I went a little tighter this time.
It's quick and cheap clips. That's what you got.
Hey, but
Why'd you go? Why'd you get it tighter than normal?
well, okay. So we're going on an RV trip.
Yeah,
25 days.
25 days. Now, for everybody who doesn't know, how many kids do you have?
5 kids, 5 girls.
Okay, so you, your wife, and 5 kids are jumping in an RV, Birmingham, Alabama. Where's first stop?
First stop's going to be Arkansas, Little Rock.
Second stop.
Elk City, Oklahoma.
Next stop.
I believe that's Albuquerque.
You going to New Mexico?
Yeah.
You've been there before.
Yes.
You got there in a little bit quicker than 3 days the last time.
Yeah, a little bit faster.
And then next stop.
Going to the Grand Canyon.
Sweet. All
And
right.
then we'll be in Vegas, where we will be a part of the boot camp for Land Geek.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. If you're heading out to Las Vegas next week for the this is the fall boot camp for the Land Geek.
That's right.
Dude, looking forward to seeing you.
We'd love to see you in person.
That's right.
But yeah, so I had to get a haircut because I don't want to be messing around with trying to get somebody to cut my hair. I mean, what if I don't find somebody as good as Great Clips out west?
Yeah, I mean, anybody with a pair of scissors and a buzz cut, like picture to look at, could not accomplish what that girl who just got out of barber school or whatever it's called.
Is straight up skills.
Right.
Okay?
Did you ask her how long ago did she actually get her license, or is she still training to get it?
Hey, she was a pro.
Well, she got paid, so that made her a professional.
That's right.
How long has she been professional?
I don't know. Those are details. I mean, that was insignificant. Once I saw her work, I knew she had been doing this for quite some time.
Like, what did her personal haircut look like?
It was fantastic.
It looked good?
Yeah.
Did she did it herself?
I'll tell you what, she was super excited about hearing about our passive income report.
Okay.
She told me, she's like, her and her son talk about this stuff all the time.
That's awesome. Well,
So
good.
I'm excited.
I'm good. Okay. I won't make fun then, because if she's listening, I don't want to make fun of somebody who's listening.
She's fantastic and she's excited.
All right. Well, I'll quit making fun of quick clips. I mean, good clips. Let's talk about passive income. So last month when we reported on this, we actually made a boo-boo. We underestimated how much passive income we have.
Bank error in your favor.
Yeah,
this is
the one time where community chess came to real life. We actually had a bank error in our favor. Our accountants are like, hey, by the way, you overstated the taxes. You guys put that into your expenses. We actually had already accounted for that on the balance sheet. So you get to go back and say, you got to pay yourself an additional almost $6,000.
That is such good news.
Okay, so last month we brought in $49,385, a little more than what we reported live,
June 2021.
Right. This month we brought in $65,766.
Woo, man! What did you do, man? That's awesome.
There's some heavy lifting in my crypto miners.
Ooh. I knew it was happening.
I'm looking at this spreadsheet, Joey, and for those watching live, it says ETH miners, and it says Russ, Joey. And by the way, everything is a competition. If you notice,
at least to Russ it is.
If you notice, I'm crushing him.
By the way, we're 50-50 on virtually everything but the Ethereum miners.
Well,
so he's going to find whatever. He's got to find one thing to compete with.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I just went and said, I believe in this process, and I just kept buying. I kept buying more miners, man.
Yeah, you've crushed me.
So my personal miners, after all expenses for maintenance and everything, brought in $11,717.
And I came in just slightly behind that.
You can tell them
$2,222.34.
That's about 400 and something percent less.
It is, but and by the way, just as an update, what are we doing with that money that is created?
Well,
explain.
Well, to me, okay, so sometimes we bring in US dollars, right? And that's currency that we're going to then redeploy either to buy new assets or refund or replenish our lines of credit or life insurance policies, whatever it may be. For the cryptocurrency Ethereum, we're not actually turning that back into US dollars. We're keeping it in that specific currency and getting interest on that currency. We actually are staking our Ethereum, and sometimes we're trading it for Bitcoin. That's another currency that we own. But we're using that as just a means to grow in addition to the US dollar, because we believe the US dollar, because we've watched it over time, continue to depreciate, right? As they continue to print more funny money. Gresham's law says good money will flee when bad money comes in. And
that's right.
We're watching bad money come into our our national economy every single day. And, they're talking about another $1 trillion spending bill that they want to bring in. That's just more money on print. So we're taking dollars, US dollars, and turning them into a different currency and holding that currency as compared to US dollars.
And so just kind of for clarity purposes, that money is not coming to us every single month in the form of like a cash flow like we had originally anticipated. We started these Ethereum miners in light of, man, this would be just like a rental property.
No, you said that wrong.
Okay.
You said that wrong.
What do you
because by saying it that way makes someone thinks it's still an investment. That is a currency. That is a cash flow. We are getting that cash flow. If you looked at your checking account and it said $11,717, you would have considered that a cash flow, correct?
That is true.
And when you look at your other wallet, it's just a different type of wallet. It says it says Ethereum. It has a number of coins, but for us to really measure equally, it tells us in US dollars that's equal to 11,717. Well, actually, yours would only say $2,222.
Thanks again. Thanks.
So we have to retrain our brain, though. I'm okay. I understand why you said that, because our brains did not consider it that way. We were thinking we were going to always keep converting it to US dollars. Instead, we are getting a cash flow. It's coming to us.
That's true.
Can you spend it?
We can.
How quickly could you spend it?
Just as quickly as US dollars.
And if you wanted to, could you stake that currency and turn it into US dollars without even have to sell that currency?
Yes, you could borrow against it.
Okay. And by the way, we are not giving you investment advice. We're not trying to tell you whether Ethereum, Bitcoin, or whatever is going to be the next best thing. I was talking to a guy today and he was asking me about, hey, I'm thinking about selling my Ethereum that I own and then waiting for it to go down and then buying it again. I was like, please don't do that. Because in my opinion, it's going to keep moving forward. It's going to keep moving up. But if you want the dollars, if you want to buy things, because we unfortunately are not in an economy right now that takes Ethereum or Bitcoin to allow us to buy groceries, gasoline, whatever it may be, you could borrow against it. You could then spend US dollars.
That's right.
If the currency is going, if you believe the currency is going to go up over time, and really, is it going up or is the US dollar going down?
Definitely the US dollar is going down.
So I think it's holding its value as the US dollar continues to depreciate. People who own ounces of gold has not gone up in value. The dollar has continued to go down. That's all that's happened. It takes more dollars to buy the same ounce of gold that existed 100 years ago. The gold is still the same piece of gold, right? I think the coins, whether they're Ethereum or Bitcoin, are still just coins. The dollar in relationship of that is what's making it go down. So again, we're sitting here looking at that. We don't know. We all look back 5 years from now, 15 years from now, and determine whether or not we made a good decision. But that's one of the small things that we're doing. Joey, let's talk about another item on our board, the land business. We just mentioned we're going out to Las Vegas, going to talk at the boot camp, be in attendance at the boot camp, because we have a land business. We want to learn more about the land business.
That's right. In fact, if you want to learn what we have learned and go deeper in the subject, go to thelandgeek.com and check them out. They have tons of ways you can get involved, from the investor toolkit up to private coaching and everything in between. Highly recommend their system. And so anyways, within this land business, we have a team of people that are running this for us. And they are just constantly buying raw land, they're buying it at 25 cents on the dollar roughly, turning around and selling it at retail price on terms. So they're making it affordable for somebody to own land. And in this economy, number one, it's hard to find good land. And so people are buying it just as fast as you can essentially get your hands on it. Last month, or what?
No, go ahead.
Last month, the gross amount of this business was $11,078. And once we net out the partnership we have with our team, $7,755 was our net. That is huge.
So that $7,755 is coming in the form of notes. So I was looking a second ago, somebody had commented on our post And she had mentioned to me in a chat the other day that she's doing private lending, right?
Yeah.
Which is a form of note income.
That's right.
That's what this business is, right? We're creating notes. Instead of like giving dollars to someone, we're selling them land, and they in turn are paying us.
This is a great differentiator. So if you were flipping land, so it might be a little bit misleading what we're talking about.
Right.
If you were just flipping land, it has the connotation that you're buying something, paying, or like selling it for a profit, but it was like a one-time transaction for the profit.
And
just like flipping house.
And there are people in the land flipping business, so that's what their goal is. Their goal is to go find property, buy it at 25 cents on the dollar, turn around, sell it for 100% return, flip it on wholesale to another land flipper. So that person, instead of having to go through all the problems and all the mailing and all the hassles,
Marketing,
and all that stuff, instead of doing that, they're willing to pay 25%, higher for the piece of land, so that then they get it, and then they go and do what we're doing, which is sell it to a customer and have them pay a monthly.
Yeah. So I think just a point of clarification is we call it land flipping, but it really is more about becoming a bank.
For us, the way we're running our land business.
Exactly. So just making sure you understand, a lot of these notes are between 4 and 6 years. And so they are a sustainable long-term income stream that we're creating every time.
All right. So let's talk about Wake Up in Birmingham. That is our short-term rental business. That is a business where we have every unit except one. We do not own it. We have gone in and under a master lease, been able to rent the property, letting the owner know that we are going to put this property on short-term rental. Now, we don't necessarily say, hey, by the way, we're going to come up there and we're going to put our stuff on Airbnb, and we're just going to let anybody come in and, just let your neighbors know there could be some parties. Like, of course, that's not the way that conversation goes down.
That doesn't go well.
We contact these places and we say, hey, by the way, do you have any properties available for corporate rental? Corporate rental means lots of businesses will rent properties, and as they have people come in town throughout the year, they will then use those properties for those people. And many of these apartment complexes already have corporate rental companies.
You're kind of speaking their language at that point.
They know what you're talking about. And then we will go from that part to say, well, we're looking for 2, 3. In some situations, we have as many as 11 in certain complexes. And we'll say, help us understand the properties, and we need to go look at them. We need to make sure it's a good fit. We're going there and we're showing them that we are a professional company, that we're not just a mom and pop. This isn't something where somebody's putting up, a sheet between the living room and the dining room and calling that a bedroom. And that's not what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
If you go on wakeupinbirmingham.com, you can see what we're doing. You can see that we have a very professional product. We let them know that. And because of that, then we can go out to the marketplace once we have those properties. So if we get a property, we may rent it for $1,100. That's our monthly rent to the owner.
That's right.
Then we turn around and put it on sites like Airbnb, VRBO, or our own website, Wake Up in Birmingham, and we market it on a nightly rental. Most of the stuff that we have has a 2-night minimum. Some stuff that we have a 3-night minimum. When people come and rent with us, then we're renting that at a higher price point over that whole month than what we could get if we were trying to go buy a property and just find a long-term rental, correct?
That's right.
So give people insight into what's happening or what happened in the month of July.
So July was one of our top months ever because it is a super busy time for people to travel. Our area in particular has a lot of travel teams like baseball kind of tournaments and things like that in Birmingham. And it just really attracts families to our bigger units. And so in the month of July, we grossed $62,844 across, it's a total of 21 units. But the expenses are $37,531. So we netted $25,312 from our legacy kind of units. And then you have some with your daughter, as well as a different kind of a group that you operate. And that netted out $3,800 between those units.
So between the two of us, we brought in just shy of $30,000 of profit.
Yes, after paying our operator and the management company,
Paying
arm of this.
that includes the rent, that includes the management company, that includes all the power bills,
utilities,
the cleaning fees, the linen costs, everything that went into that. We netted $30,000. Here's a really interesting thing. Again, everybody does this differently, but some people ask, Russ, why do you love short-term rental? Well, because I enjoy being able to influence the outcome. I like this. As compared to long-term rental, I couldn't do it. Right?
It just is what it is.
I could find one renter, and that's it. And if how many properties, Joey, would you have to own in order to bring in $30,000 a month in passive if you had long-term rentals, assuming you had mortgages on them?
I mean, that's a ton.
Well,
about 100?
Probably about 100.
About 100 at $300 a month per.
Right. So, and now again, there's value in that. We've interviewed people, the Camiras, Tao Simpson, both of them were getting really close to 100.
That's right.
There's different value systems and different processes, but what it is that I like about the short-term rental world is that I can influence. I get text messages from friends, people who are in the real estate business, people who come into our community and say, "Hey, I'm traveling through Birmingham. Can I stay at one of your places?" We've had people that have done that. I love that. I love the excitement of it, but I also love the fact that it creates immediate cash flow. It's something we can see. Yes, it costs money to outfit it. We spend a good amount of money to buy furniture, to actually pay decorators to go in there. We don't want our product to look like a lot of people's stuff. They're not taking pictures with their iPhone.
Right.
We bring professional photographers in there to make the place look right, to stage it, to keep it up. But because of that, we're seeing returns on our money close to 1,000%.
That's huge.
It is crazy. And so if you
we have a course coming soon where you'll be able to purchase and learn exactly the system that we've implemented.
Well, and I've had a lot of people like me say, I was really close to taking the short-term rental mastermind that you guys offered. I know you guys had about 50 people go through it over a 6-month period of time. I noticed that you're not doing that anymore. Tell me more. And so here's the thing is that the operator who runs our business was teaching that course. It became burdensome for him to be able to keep up with all of that in our business at one time. So he agreed to basically take everything that he was teaching, break it down into small segments and make it a course, and then said, "Hey, I'm willing to do one time a month, a live call for a couple hours with everybody who goes through the course if they want to continue to be able to ask questions and be able to be, more importantly, in a network of other people doing
the support."
Because
exactly.
I think that's the key is a lot of times we just need to be able to share questions that comes up. Like we had a question in our group the other day. A guy said, "Hey, great experience. Loves the fact that my unit's going, but also had this weird experience. Can you tell me what you would do when you have somebody who's coming in and out of your place butt naked and smoking? When the house rules, it definitely said that no smoking was available. I forgot to tell them, hey, don't come in and out of the house butt naked.
Clothes are required."
Yeah. When you walk outside of our house, have your clothes on.
That's one of those house rules that you kind of think twice about adding. Because if you have to put in your house rules, that tells the people that are renting that it's happened before.
Yeah,
and they're like, wait a minute. Should I be going naked in and out of this house?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe I should be thinking
that makes
about
you
that.
think about that. Like the time you get out of the shower and you're drying off and you sit down on that couch butt naked and then you're like, wait a second, I'm not the first person to have this idea. That gets a little sketchy.
A little awkward.
All right. So Wake Up in Birmingham would love for you to stay with us if you come through Birmingham, but also would just love you to look into this business model. When you go through our Pathfinder course, we actually have taken the time to help you discern and maybe reduce the number of ideas that exists on the passive income pathway. Short-term rentals on there. And when you use your investor DNA, you can determine whether or not that's a good fit for your own personality. And when you go through it, you'll see why Joey and I like it so much, because it matches our personality so well.
Exactly. All right. So next thing on the list is our ATM fund. It's kind of boring.
It is boring.
It's just solid $2,184 a month. That's net of all expenses. It just is what it is. Every month, same number.
People say, well, what are you guys doing? We're like, well, we put money in, it kicks money out. Most of the time, ATMs just kick money out, but you had to put it in at the bank.
Congress prints a bunch of money, puts it in our ATMs, and then people come get it and they pay us a fee.
So here's the thing. People will say, but aren't ATMs going away? Because I don't have cash in my wallet. I don't know the last time I've gone to an ATM. Are you guys nervous about your ATM fund?
I'm personally not nervous because there's even technology coming to compensate for changes in currency. So it's not that this is foolproof. I don't want to ever say that, but it still meets a huge market. And it may not be applicable to you every day, but there are people out there that rely on this sort of service.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do spend cash. They're in that world where dollars are being traded, and they put it in a bank just so that way they don't have to carry it around in their pocket, but they can get access to it when they need it. So I think that world may change over time. For us, this was a little bit of definitely a very passive activity for us. It was something that one of our other coaches had talked about and shared with us. Mark Haraguchi had shared some of the ATM funds that he had been a part of. So we were interested in that as one of the things. Now, we do have some long-term rentals. We have a small interest into a multifamily syndication where we bought into an apartment complex. Ultimately, that apartment complex got thrown into a fund, and that fund is in the process of accruing monthly payments. At some point, Joey, I will see a lump sum of all of that. At least that's what I'm banking on. There's a handful of other people that got into it like I did, and they're waiting on that money to come. We've got your long-term rental, which is the one property
that we
do own. That's a part of our Wake Up Everhand. We give you actually an increase in rent this past month.
Man, I think, I had some good behavior this last year, and you guys realize that you were way underpaying me, because market rent on a 2-bedroom in our area is closer to $1,150 a month, and we were only at $1,050. So I got $100 more this month than I did in previous months.
Well, you
$200.
You upgrade your oven for us.
I had to pay that too. But
when are we upgrading those windows?
Once we save enough on this increase, I'll look at putting it into window.
I need you to, again, I'm just letting you know as a tenant, I need some new windows.
Man, all right, I'll get on that.
Okay, let's talk about the information business. That is really one of the things that the information business is what inspired this passive income report. You and I have interviewed John Lee Dumas and Pat Flynn.
Yep.
I love those people. I think that they definitely are innovators in the information space business. They inspired us to create a passive income report because they were publishing their own report. But because of that, it was like, okay, well, again, people are constantly asking us for things. How can we give content to people on a regular basis and get compensated to do it? So our information business is our community. When you go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/community, you get to take part in what I believe is one of the most focused groups to help you become financially free and get there faster. And through that, there's different things. We were talking about a second ago, the passport, which is step one in our process to get a very clear goal, is a free item. But the second part, to get the path, to be able to start putting the pieces together, that is a paid for item.
Because we've actually paid for these assessments to be created for you, where your own investor DNA, and you can apply it to what passive income options are available to you.
And then the third part is when people join our inner circle, which is our coaching platform.
Right. That's the support piece that everybody needs. And sometimes they miss getting to their goal because they just can't get that final mile.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of times in the past, we've been known for helping people set up their infinite banking policies, their systems, right? Their cash flow processes. And I love to use this analogy that we're building a rocket ship, right? And we're putting people behind the steering wheel, assuming there's a steering wheel of a rocket ship. I guess there is. I don't know. I
don't think it's round.
It's not round.
I think it's got like this cool gaming type of,
Yeah, it looks more function. Like a bat shape or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, so you're holding this
I don't know from
batshit
I don't know from
cool
experience.
gaming wheel, right? I don't know what you call that. But the problem is you're going to a destination you've never been to before, right? And so you need a navigator. And Mark Hargucci, one of our coaches, is a pilot, and he tells me the right seat, the co-pilot, is the navigator. That is that person's job. Well, I think that's what the inner circle is about. The inner circle is to bring coaching to that person, to help them navigate, right? Not to steer. That's your job. This is you becoming financially free for yourself, not us helping you become financially free. We're there to help navigate. We're there to say, hey, we've been there before. We can show you as you go through this process how to get there in the straightest line possible. And those people who are joining our inner circle are getting access 2 times a week to group coaching, 6 times a year to one-on-one coaching, getting access to every course, every piece of content we've ever put.
All the calculators.
And more importantly, getting access to a group of people who are doing and are trying to accomplish the same thing they are. And when you surround yourself with people who are not trying to become financially free, which is probably where most of us are, because the world that we live in just doesn't think the way that you think, doesn't listen to podcasts just like this one. You surround yourself with people who are not on that same pathway to become financially free, you're going to find yourself not getting any closer. But when you surround yourself with people who are trying to become financially free, who are aspiring to get there faster, you'll be amazed. Joey, you had an amazing conversation with somebody the other day who said to you, hey, by the way, I was coming down this process. I was thinking about becoming financially free, but I was just going to do it like everybody else I knew. I was going to buy a single family property. Then I heard your podcast. I came and spoke to you. I set up my rocket ship. I listened to another podcast, and the next thing you know, I'm sitting in a seat learning how to buy and to buy apartments and grow capital for it. This individual is now owning apartment complexes as compared to having a single family property.
Exactly. Yeah. He invested in himself. And I think that's the beauty of this community too, is you've got to spend your time somewhere. It might as well be in a place that is aligning with what your goals are and with the people who are on the same goal or the same path that you are. So yeah, it makes a tremendous difference. Just kind of sharing a little bit more about that conversation. This gentleman is in his 50s and he's like, Joey, this has changed my entire world. And not to mention, he's got like a 3-year-old son. And he said, Joey, this is generationally going to rock my family's world. Like, this is going to be a complete game changer for us. And it all started because he started on this process and he started to invest in himself. So I want that for you. That's what we built this community for. We happen to have made $11,000 last month in a profit from that business. And so that rounds out our passive income report.
So this month, total income was $126,000. That's how much revenue came in. We sent out $60,000, so our net was a little over $65,000, which was an increase over the previous month of 33%. Now you may say, well, how big of an increase was it over July? It would be a higher number than Joey and I could come up with because last July was the first time we kept up with this, right?
That was the first month we had 1 unit with Wake Up in Birmingham.
And we had some Ethereum miners. Actually, it would have been smart of us to probably go and look up exactly what that first report looked like. But going forward now, we're going to start doing month over month, but also this month over last year's month, just to start being able to reflect on that. But anyway, thank you for allowing us to share this with you. You have something you want to say, Stallion?
No, I just want to say thank you for your feedback. We get your encouragement every month whenever you see this. And again, hope it inspires you to greater things than what we've even been able to accomplish. So as always, thank you for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Wow. I was going to try to figure out your computer, unfortunately, is not set up in a way that lets me figure out how to get to it.
To do what? Comments?
Yeah, I was going to try to get to comments just to see those who were there. we had somebody throwing jokes in there about
Ooh,
tell me Tell me about the health of 100 unicorns.
Man, I'll tell you this. We're going to have to solve this.
Really?
100 unicorns has got to make a comeback. Because in this last 2 or 3 days, I've had 2 orders come in. And I've never done one marketing thing in 4 or 5 months.
Gabe, are you tracking those numbers for us? You keeping up with the income and expenses?
That thing, it looked like you flatlined it, man. You had nothing on this report.
There was not a whole lot to talk about. It didn't want to share it for some reason.
Just wait. It's got to come around. I got to figure out marketing. That is the challenge.
You know, we had an investment in a candle company too. We had an investment into a note fund, and those are hopefully
They're going to be coming strong here next several months.
Sharing on the board there, and then also we're making some increases in our short-term rental business.
Yes. Stay tuned. We've got a new location in Birmingham coming online in the next 60 days.
And we're talking about Turo. We're talking about RV share. Man, I mean,
it's about to get exciting.
We're going to be a guinea pig. Well, thank you for watching live with us. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.